channel. Before we get started, we need some likes, we need some comments in this one, and if you could also subscribe, because it's been a tough day today. As it's titled, there's no place like home, and it looks like that for Villa. Villa went to the City Ground today, and it ended up being Nottingham Forest 2, Aston Villa 0. I'm here with my bro to discuss the game and give our thoughts and opinions of how it went. How you doing, bro, after that?
Yeah, today was a bit of a tough one to take, to be honest. But yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good, man. Looking forward to talk about what we saw today and just what we think, what our thoughts were on the game.
Yeah, I think watching the Luton Liverpool game after it gave me a bit of time to, cool down, relax, gather my
Yeah,
thoughts a bit more of what I witnessed in the Villa game. Because albeit we said in the last pod it was going to be a difficult game, a team that's only lost twice in 19 games at home, even though they've picked up draws against Burnley and Brentford and Luton as well recently, it was still going to be a tough game. It's not easy to get 3 points from there, and we ended up picking up 0. And yeah, watching the game after it just gave me a bit of time to settle in that. And there's no easy game in the Premier League. And today, Forest did taught us a valid lesson within that. So let's start off with the lineups at first. I think Forest set up exactly how I predicted them to and expected them to, with Morgan Gibbs-White operating off the right. Awoniyi was fit and available, which was one player I wasn't looking forward to playing against. They had that midfield three of Sangara, Dominguez, and Mangala, and then the back four, Niakate, partner Murillo, and then they had Oleana and Toffolo as fullbacks with a debut. Uh, how do you pronounce the Greek goalkeeper? Can you pronounce his name? Vlachodimos, is it Vlachodimos in goal? So that was his debut as he replaced Matt Turner. Villa, same team, nothing changed, same lineup.
yeah.
What were your thoughts going with that and the lineup?
Wasn't really surprised. I really don't think Emery's going to take Zaniolo at the starting 11 in the league anytime soon. And yeah, everything else was expected, I think.
Were you happy with that lineup though? Did you expect any changes going into it? Because I feel like I was, because I know Bailey's been on fire, but I've seen Bailey operate away from home. It's usually a different player. I don't know if his form has played him into deserving to start away from home. Home, I think, is a different story. But I did expect it to be the same lineup, and to be honest, I didn't feel like it was a problem having the same lineup. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree on Bailey not being the same player away from home. Part of me maybe thought Tillemans might get the nod over Zaniolo. But yeah, outside of that, I don't think it was that surprising, really.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't for me either. So you go into the game and away from home, one of the most important, well, the most important thing, do not concede early goals. And
Yeah,
from kickoff, we didn't look on it whatsoever. We holding on to the ball for far too long, sloppy in possession. A number of players were very sloppy and careless in possession. And from the off, you've seen Forest's game plan. They were letting us have the ball, and any opportunity they had to dispossess us, they were going to go straight at us. And that's how the goal came about with Elanga having a great run down the left hand side. He squares the ball back to Toffolo. And we'd been pre warned, they'd already had like an opportunity before this. We'd been
yeah,
pre warned of their attack and what was going to happen. And there must have been 7 players in the back line who've all pushed back and just left acres of space on the edge of the box. Toffolo's just put it across. I don't even think he's looking for Oleana. He's put it across the line. Oleana, it's a great finish, to be honest. He's put it through a number of bodies, and it's a great finish into the bottom corner. Martinez is unsighted. I don't think there's no claim for offside either. I don't think Awoniyi was in the line of sight. And it's a great goal for Forest and a poor goal for us to concede initially.
yeah. Even before the goal, I want to touch on that chance more because I feel with Villa, the first 10 minutes are like a preview to how the game's gonna go, if we're on it or not at the start. Because from their goal kick, their keeper, I noticed, he bypassed their defense. He went straight to their left midfielder, their left winger, and I think it was Langer that picked up the ball. They played a 1-2. We came up a bit. and then boom, they were in behind us. They played the ball across, and I think we only like held it up and laid it off for a shot that just went miles wide. But it was a warning straight away, and it was good football from Forest. And obviously the goal came after, and we just didn't learn. And it's just like you can always just tell how we're gonna play, like initially from how we start a game. And yeah, it just wasn't looking good from the off, man.
Yeah, there's two big things with Villa. One, how we start. Two, whoever gets the first goal. It always seems the way we struggle to get back into games when we concede first. I think Palace is the only game that we've done it this season so far, and even last season we'd really struggle if we conceded first. And once we concede first away from home at a ground and a team who don't like losing at home, it's going to be very difficult from there. But Villa were pre-warned, and I just thought there was a number of players. I think Kamara was very careless on the ball at times in that first 10-minute spell. Even, you've got McGinn in certain areas was losing it. Even Dougie in certain areas as well. Zaniolo, the whole team, to be honest, was just careless on the ball. Matty Cash and Digne as well. Um, just losing the ball in unnecessary areas, getting dispossessed, and it just took us a long time to settle in that game. Even after we conceded the first, it still took a good 10 minutes for Villa to actually settle and start playing in the game. Um, but yeah, Forest just caught us. I think Steve Cooper would have set out that game plan to just soak up what Villa have, let them have the ball, and we can transition on them. And you know, if we get that early goal, we will just sit back and we'll try and operate in between that high line, and hopefully we'll get a chance where we're onside. And that's how the first half played out. The remainder of that first half played out with Forest sitting in their shape, letting Villa have the ball. Can Villa break us down? If not, can we get the ball and beat their high line? And that was the tale of the first half. They had ample times, and this is where I appreciate the high line because it's the quickest way possible for Villa to get the ball back, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, suffocate the
So,
pitch,
yeah, you
move
suffocate the
the pitch.
pitch, and you back them. You back your defence to play that line, which we do, and which we play very well. And you suffocate the pitch, and just see they're going to gamble. But if they gamble, majority of the time it's going to be offside. So you get the ball back as quick as possible. So it's a great tactic, which I like. Okay, you have your heart in your mouth a couple of times because the liner doesn't flag, but the majority of the decisions, well, I think all of the offsides today were bang on. Even the ones who checked for the penalty, it was bang on. He was miles offside. It's just that you have that moment where your heart's in your mouth, but the percentages wise, it works. So I do agree with how we play with the high line. I think a number of people lose sight of the high line because they see the amount of times and opportunities and space it creates for opposition teams to get in
Yeah,
there. But how many times do they actually get in there and it's off onside? It's a small percentage against Villa. So yeah,
like
it's a
outside
dangerous game we play. Go on.
outside of the goal and their first early shot, I can't really remember too much that they had. Like this is why it's just a bit annoying because I think XG wise they got like 0.4. They scored 2 goals in the game. I don't really feel like it was any real chances. It was just the threat or the idea of them like playing the ball through. But that's the style we play. Like we know that's a possibility. So yeah, I will say I do think we improved in the second part of the first half. Like we were playing our 3-2-5. We were moving the ball a lot quicker, and there was more rotations. I thought initially than the first part of the first half. And yeah, we had chances, man. We had chances. I know we had the Cash offside chance um, that I thought was decent. And then we had the major chance on transition where they lost the ball. Diaby, who I thought did not have a good game, I thought the ball was bouncing off him quite a lot. He did not look comfortable, even in the starting position in the 10. Like I did not think he had a good game, but he showed good decision making to play in Zaniolo. And Zaniolo, maybe you thinking take the shot first time or have a better touch, and then maybe we score. But yeah, I do think we played a lot better in the second part of the first half.
Yeah, I agree. We dominated that second part of the first half. We dominated most of the first half. I think Forest fans and Forest themselves played a fantastic line in defence. They defended really well. But in terms of possession of the ball, how the game played out in terms of dominance on the ball, Villa dominated. We didn't. I don't think we deserved to get a draw. Really, I don't even think we deserved because we didn't play well enough with it. But we dominated with the ball. I think that Forest just game plan and tactically they were better than us within that in terms of how they wanted to play, and their players stood up. But yeah, I feel like in the first half we did have opportunities. Zaniolo's confidence, it seems like it's in the gutter right now. There was a number of opportunities, especially that one when Diaby plays it across. He just seems to wait for the ball to come across him instead of
Yeah.
really attacking it at the time. It just seems like he waits for the ball to come across him, which delays the shot, makes it an easy save for
At
the
no
Forest
point are you
goalkeeper.
at no
No,
point as a Villa fan are you convinced he's gonna score.
no, he wasn't. And he had the other opportunity when Dinier's put the ball in. He's kind of
And he
taken the
slipped.
deflection and
Yeah.
he slid and he's got
Unfortunate. That
slid
was
or slipped,
unfortunate.
yeah, which is unlucky. He had, another effort which near post. I think he kind of mishit it and the keeper saved it at the near post. But yeah, we weren't very clinical in our chance creation. We didn't create enough gilt edge opportunities. We dominated the ball and dominated the play, but the actual opportunities I don't think were gilt edge enough. Watkins hardly got a touch first half. I thought
No, no.
Niakate was right on his back, or even when he went across to Murillo, he was right on his back as well. Albeit some of them could have been fouls, the 50-50 in my eyes, but they were right on his touch. So yeah, we were really looking to operate down that left hand side, and I feel like the game for me where Jacob Ramsey's missed greatly because he
Missed.
has the ball
Massively missed.
progression. We don't have anyone who travels with the ball like that in our starting 11, and it shows in games like this. Even at Emi Buendia, just someone who travels with the ball at their feet with confidence. And I don't think Zaniolo is that player right now. I just don't think the confidence is there with him. And I've read somewhere he got dispossessed the most times in the first half, 4 dispossessions, and it's just not surprising at the minute. But we're just doing with
Yeah.
what we have to make do with in that position right now.
What I will say on Zaniolo, I am like a big critic of his so far, but he's still the guy that got like some XG in the first half. He had a nice 1-2 combo with Digne that I thought came from that cross that he put in. And the reason we were down the left so much is because it just was not happening on the right hand side. I don't think Cash had a great game. I mean, I've seen a lot of Villa fans saying how frustrated they are that he always looks to come back on himself. He has that turning circle where his body shape's just not facing forward and he's just happy to just go back where you feel like, oh, maybe he could have taken his man on 1v1 and created some separation and put a decent cut back into the box. So I thought Cash was really frustrating. Diaby, like I said earlier, the ball was bouncing off him, bro.
Just
Like the
just
ball was
one
like a
thing,
balloon.
yeah,
And
one
he
thing with
just,
Cash.
combination play was not happening on the right hand side.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing was sticking to DRB, and that right hand side was suffering. With Cash, do you think it's an ability thing or instructions? Because we've had Cash for a number of seasons now, and his ability to beat a man, I've never witnessed it. I
No,
don't know if he has that ability to do that. He has the ability to control the ball, take a good touch. Running in behind, he's great at doing. If he's
yeah.
got space in behind, we've seen McGinn play those balls. We saw Konza last weekend play that ball in through him in behind. He's very good at that. But one-on-one standing start, I don't think Cash has the ability to beat his man. So
No.
when fans are asking or saying why doesn't he, I just don't think he's got that in his locker. I don't think either fullback really demonstrate. Digne did a bit, does now and again, which is
Well, the
rare.
last
He
two
did
games he's
try it
actually
once, yeah.
started doing
He
it.
did
Yeah.
try it
But,
today, and he went through the legs
well,
with
that's another
Polyane, I think.
criticism. That's another criticism of Digne I have. Like he's like he came to turn back on himself, and I thought, oh, okay, here we go. He's not gonna attack the space. Then he does this flick, and it's like, wow, he's beat the man, and then he has the whole box to run into, and he still plays the early cross, and you're just like, that's habitual. That is. That's not adapting to the scenario. You could attack the box then, run in, and play a cutback for like a tap in, and you still
Yeah,
cross, and it's just frustrating, man. And that's again where I just feel like Moreno is just he's just smarter and he knows how to play a pass that creates a higher quality chance to score, in my opinion. But yeah, on Cash, I think what we know about Cash is his qualities are he's an athlete. He can get up and down the pitch. He can run back. He can track his man, etc. But in terms of like on the ball 1v1, if he gets the ball in the corner and you need him to take his man on, it's not going to happen. I don't really see like a step over package. I don't really see him create that much separation. Like you said, he's better running in behind, like we saw against Brighton or we saw against Crystal Palace last season, the Anderson own goal, where the ball's in front of him and he can use his pace to get in front. But yeah, he can be limited when someone's playing a deep block and the space isn't there and you have to create the space. And yeah, I don't think he has the ability to do that.
yeah, and it's games like this where I feel we really miss those progressive carriers of the ball. Um, not just the fullbacks, I think in midfield sometimes, McGinn can do it now and again. When McGinn's on it, he carries the ball really well, gets his body in the way. But when he's off it, he doesn't use that ability because I don't know, his touch might be off or he just doesn't trust himself to do that. But without a Jacob Ramsey or Moreno in the side, they're two players who their best abilities are carrying the ball. And we
Yeah,
just really missed that. We missed that dimension and that different option. And I felt like we just missed that a bit today. It got a bit pedestrian at times because we were trying to unlock Forest by playing through them time and time
yeah.
again, going back sideways, without anyone actually trying to penetrate with the ball at their feet. And just because I don't think those players, that's not what their talents and their strengths are. So I do think we missed that today. And yeah, it just got a bit stale. It got a bit, for all the dominance of the ball, the actual attacking patterns and play just got a bit stale in that first half. And when that happens, you just want half time to come and Emery to try and change it, to try and show something different.
But yeah, just to touch on, I agree with everything you've said. But just the nature in how we play, and we bait the press, and we need them to come forward. There has to be an incentive for Forest to do that. And when they get an early lead, Cooper's happy for them to sit in their shape. What are they pressing high for? Why do they need the ball back suddenly? Like, it's so much harder to bait the press when they're sitting in their block. And I think Emery touched on it today. He was just like, in his post match conference, he was just like, it's so hard, it's difficult. If we go a goal down, then it's almost an impossible task in a way. So yeah, just alludes back to what we said about that first goal. Whoever gets it, it's crucial, man.
Yeah, and that shows in our form in the Premier League. I think our last 10 away games, we've won two, um, which is the two this season against Burnley and Chelsea. And especially if we go a goal behind, we're just a different team away from home currently than we are at home. And yeah, going in 1-0 down at half time, you just want to see us change how we play. And it didn't really happen, did it? We made the substitution at half
No,
time. I think Emery's spotting something with Zaniolo. I think it's, you know, that's two weeks in a row now. He's come off at half time for Bailey. There's obviously something he's not happy with in his play, or he just doesn't feel he's confident enough. But yeah, Bailey comes on at half time, and you're just thinking, okay, more of the same, but a bit more impetus in the attacking third. And then to just concede a goal like that after 5 minutes in
it
the
was the
second half,
most
it's
Villa. It
just
was the
so
most Villa thing.
yeah,
It was the most Villa thing I'd felt in a while. Where it was just like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that's the Villa I know. I hadn't
so
had that
true.
feeling in a while.
It's so true. We haven't had that for about a year. It's coming up to a year where you have a Villa moment where you think that is just typical Villa, and
Yeah,
that today felt like that is just typical Villa because it's a shot 99 out of 100 times. I mean, Martinez saves that. I think about 80% of them he catches it.
it's a hit
But
and
for
hope.
some, yeah, it's literally just a strike, just a lucky strike. Just I'll have a shot on target. And for
Mangala,
some
you know.
reason, I don't know what's gone on with Emmy. I don't know if that trophy just went to his head for a split second or whatever. But he's tried to palm it
Yeah,
spectacularly, which I don't even think he needed to do with one
it was
hand.
central.
Yeah, and the ball's just looped, and he's made a despairing effort. I think Mangala can't believe his luck. He's already ran off celebrating, and from the camera, you see it's miles over the line, and it's just like, well, that's it. Whatever the game plan was for the second half, it's just gone out the window because now we're two behind, and we ain't got as much time now to try and develop our patterns because it's a bit
Yeah,
more desperation now to even try and get a point. We just
and
really killed it.
now they really don't have an incentive to press.
Yeah,
Going 2-0 up. And it was just funny because as soon as the ball goes in the air, and I know other Villa fans could probably relate, I was just like, listen, don't even bother getting up trying to save it. Like, we know what's coming. Like, I'd seen it before. I knew that was going to go in. We all knew it was over the line straight away. Like, it wasn't even a close one. And I just can't believe it, man. Mangala's hit and hope. He just thought, why not? And it's just so frustrating. Straight after halftime, we've made the change, and we've probably changed tactics because, as we know, when Bailey comes on, it's not just a straight swap. Like, players start moving around on the pitch. Cash goes to right
yeah,
centre back. Kamara plays DM, and McGinn plays
goes on the
left 10.
left.
So frustrating, man. Really frustrating. Like I still can't get over it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a real killer, that goal. It's a real dagger, just how ridiculous the goal is. And
Hilarious.
Villa of recent times now, we're just conceding goals that are just ridiculous. I mean, the Alena goal, I'll give it is a good move, but even still, you could think the 7 men there, someone could get out to them quicker. I can't really think of a goal we've conceded recently where I thought, wow, that's a great goal to concede. Like the team have really worked that goal in the Premier League. You've got the two today. You've got last week against Luton was an own goal. You've got the Jaron Bowen one, which has taken the deflection. Even the Ansu Fati one, it's just a weird goal. How they've had the opportunity, it's taken a couple of nicks and then gone back to Ansu Fati in the box. The goals have just been ridiculous that we've been conceding recently, and it's like that just compounded it today. It just really did. It's like, yeah, the luck's not on our side in terms of keeping clean sheets or stopping goals from being conceded, because some of them have been ridiculous of recent times. Just a quick comment. Manny Central, shout out Manny. Yes, lads, big up. Just not clinical enough today. Conceded 2 dodgy goals too. Yeah, as I said, the goals we've been conceding recently have just been just dodgy. Just I don't even think they're unlucky, and it's just some are unlucky, some are just weird flukes or whatever, or just stupid errors and mistakes, which I think the Martinez one was today. So yeah,
Let me just say on Manny as well. Yeah, I agree with what Manny said, but if you enjoy Villa YouTube content, make sure you go subscribe to Manny's channel as well,
for sure.
because he does vlogs, he does analysis, he does tactical analysis, and it's good content. So make sure you go and subscribe to his channel as well.
Yeah, big up Manny. There's a lot of stuff. There's shorts, there's videos, post-match reactions. He's just done one for the game as well. So yeah, big up Manny and
And
go and follow his
he's got
channel
me
as
saying the
well.
real Brazilian. I keep saying that. What
The
he says
real
about
Brazilian.
the real Brazilian, who had an off
Even though,
game today. Yeah,
even though today it wasn't his
unlucky
best game,
Brazilian
was
today.
it?
He
Yeah,
weren't looking.
it weren't his best game today. So yeah, we go 2-0 down, and from there, I didn't think we were going to get anything from the game. We did have a good, decent 10 minutes just after the goal went in. There was a good, decent 10 minutes of pressure where we accumulated some chances within that. Ollie Watkins has to score, doesn't he?
Yep. Yeah. It's just
He
he
has to
almost
score.
does he hit his shoulder? Like, does he miss the ball completely? Or?
It's a great ball from Digne, and I don't even think it takes a deflection or anything. He's just misread it. He did that. Was it last week against Luton?
Was it Digne that played the ball?
Yeah, it was Digne cross.
Oh, my bad.
Just
In my
clipped
head, I
over
thought
the
it was
top.
McGinn.
Oh no, it might mean McGinn actually. No, I do think it was
It looked like in
McGinn.
the half space.
Yeah, Digne passed it
Yeah.
back and then McGinn crossed it. Yeah, it
McGinn,
was
yeah,
McGinn.
I thought so.
Yeah, and it's just flashed by. I mean, I know Ollie has one of those a game. It seems like similar to Darwin. I've seen just miss from 2 yards out after the game. You just need those ones to go in, don't you? Because
Yeah,
it
early
changes
on
the
as well.
whole complex of the game, and he's just totally missed the ball, and he's not had anything in the game. But you need him to score those ones, and I love Ollie, but yeah, he has to bury that. From there, Diaby cuts inside, just hits one off his left foot, tame effort. Bailey smashes one over the bar.
Yeah, it weren't happening for Bailey today, was it? Like he was getting into
No,
good areas, and he had that initial shot, and weren't happening for Bailey today, man. Like some of the decision making, I didn't think was great. Felt like he was running down alleys with 2-on-1, and it's just like, oh, you just know nothing's gonna come of this. He's tried to play the ball off him for a corner, and it's come back off him. Like just weren't happening for Bailey today, man. At all.
yeah, it was just one of the. It weren't happening for many on the pitch, to be
Nah.
honest. It weren't happening for many at all. And albeit, I think Bubba was poor on the ball first half. I think he was our best player today. There's, the tackle he made on Elanga, where quite easily that could be a penalty, but it was a perfectly timed tackle.
That was a good tackle.
Yeah, really good tackle. There's a few instances where he did some good things on the ball as well. I do think he was our best player today. But that won't say much because I don't think he was much better than the rest. Yeah, I just think everyone was really below par today. And
What I
to
want to
me,
ask you? Go on, carry on.
yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. I don't know whether actually. I don't know whether it was the tactics or it was the players, and I think it was a bit of both. I think Steve Cooper, once the goal went in, he just had his plan for us and it worked perfectly. And then when the second goes in, it's just total changes the whole total game. But from when
I
it was
think
1-0, I think they
I
had
think
us sussed from when it was 1-0.
I think Cooper admit that was luck though, that second goal. Like I think he'd be like, okay, that's very fortunate. Like we've got that 2-goal lead now.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
even
I
from
just want
1-0, we didn't really have clear cut chances, did we?
well,
In the
Zaniola was
first
a clear
half.
clock chance. That's
Yeah,
a clear.
but that's one.
Yeah,
That's one
that's a big
chance.
chance. I thought
That's one
that's big.
chance.
That's a bigger
They
chance
had
than
they
David.
they had I don't know. Dominguez hit one over the bar in the first half as well, which he should have buried
From where?
from inside the box. The ball came across and he blazed it over the
Oh
bar.
right. Oh yeah, I do remember
So
that chance. You say that
yeah,
bigger than
yeah.
Zaniola?
I
I'll
think
have to
that was
watch
the
it.
same level. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think chances wise, like big chances, were very similar. I just think we had more of the ball and dominated the ball more. But I think they did have chances as well in the first half. But
It feels
yeah,
like you like an idea of a chance, like because of the high line. But yeah, what I wanted to ask you was, what do you think of Digne's second half performance? Because I've seen it divide the fans a lot. Most people will say, okay, he was the only one creating the chances with the crosses, which I do agree with, and the threat was coming down the left hand side due to the nature of how we play, and we like the left back to push forward. But part of me just feels his decision making on which cross to play is just infuriating, man. Like sometimes you'll have the whole space to attack the box, and I'll just think either cut back or try something different or fake the shot. But it just feels like it's the same cross. And yes, he put in a good ball for Bailey, but I'm just like, we're crossing to Leon Bailey. Like it's just we're not adapting the style of pass to the players on the pitch. I don't know what your opinion was, but it just felt so wasteful. Where I feel like if Moreno was there, the decision making might have been better. And we might have scored a couple more goals.
yeah, I think Moreno changes the point of attack because he can do both more. He can beat his man a lot easier than Digne does. But Digne was putting the ball on the plate. He did put, I noticed to Bailey, but the ball was right there for him to score. I don't think you can take it away from him because of the player heading the ball over the bar. It was still a great ball. And Bailey had a lot of time to react to that. There was a number of times where the ball wasn't beating the first man or it took a deflection as well, which, you know, you have to beat the first man. So I think it was a bit up and down for Digne. I think there was some good deliveries put in and there was some poor deliveries. And when there's a poor deliveries and they kind of work you out, I get what you're saying because then there's no
He had that
change
shot
because
over
then
the
you can,
bar as well.
yeah, then you
If you
can't
remember that
really
way,
do
he
much
started.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. But all round, I just thought everyone was really below their standards. Pau
One of
Torres
them
played
days.
some nice passes, which you really expect now. That's just how good he is. He played some nice
Yeah, he
passes
was
during the
licking that
game.
ball in behind because I think he was like a lot of floor on the floor passes where he was like waiting for Dean to make the run, and he was getting through. He was breaking like two lines with some of his
Yeah,
passes, which I thought was
yeah,
impressive.
great. And
I
I
want to
thought
big up.
Yuri Tillemans
Yeah,
came on
yeah,
and
he beat
kept it
it.
ticking
Yeah,
as well. Yeah, I really did. When he came on, I thought he stepped the game up a bit more in that second half when it was getting a bit sluggish and, gave us a little bit more impetus to try and get at least one back. I think he really kept the ball
yeah.
moving and ticking.
I agree with what you said about Kamara, but I had Tillemans as our best player on the pitch today. I thought, even though he
Mm,
came on for like 31 minutes, was it? I think it was
mm.
59 when Cash came off. But some of the passes, like he played like one reverse pass to Diaby, who I thought should have been better. And outside of that shot that he did that went over that I thought was a poor decision. Like his passes were just, I think he made like 49 out of 51 passes
Yeah,
coming
his
coming on
passing
for like
was
half an hour.
spot on.
Passing was crisp.
It was.
And
It was.
yeah, man, I think he's put his name out there to start. Well, I know he'll start against Almar because he starts all the conference games, but for Fulham as well.
Yeah, and that's
Really
what we
impressive.
need. We need players to start pushing other players so players don't get comfortable. What was concerning today was no John Duran again on the bench. More because we really could have used him today. He was the bright spark when we were 1-0 down against Crystal Palace. He changed that game when he came on.
Yep.
And we really could have done with him being on the pitch just because he causes mayhem whenever he's on the pitch. He really leaves it all out there. And we really could have done with him today. When you're seeing Dendoncore on to coming on to like salvage
It's
something,
it's a bit
you
demoralising.
realise we've got a bit of depth issues there regarding that. So yeah, we did really miss
I
Samar
understood
Duran
that
being on
sub though
there.
because Dougie's on a yellow card. he's one yellow card away from suspension. There's no need for him. The game's done. Like, but I understand that. But yeah, I agree with you. Seen Den
But
Duncan come on.
some might say take the booking and miss the Fulham game, be ready
Yeah, that's a good shout.
for
I
the
think we
Spurs
spoke
game.
about that before. Yeah. Coming
Some
off a
might see
loss,
it that
though,
way.
I think we just need to just take that, not underestimate Fulham now, and just have our
I
best
agree.
players for
I agree. I agree.
not worry
Yeah, for
too much
sure.
about Spurs now.
So yeah,
But yeah,
2-0 defeat, and I think he just put that down to it's one of them. It's one of those games. You look at the statistics, albeit I think the game state changes when Forest scored,
yeah,
as in they're going to allow us to dominate because that's part of their
yeah,
tactics because they just want to
yeah,
hit us on the
100%
counter.
agree.
But
Yeah,
you look at it, better had way more possession, had more dominance, threat in the areas, more XG, more
more
shots.
passes.
Yeah, so way more. I think we had triple the amount of passes they had. So in a lot of games, that's a draw or a win in my eyes.
And the
But
defense, to be fair to them, have given up 0.4 xg. That's
yeah,
nothing.
yeah, they
Away at
did. They
Forest,
did.
that's not a bad defensive performance.
No, it's not. It's just sloppy goals. It's two long range shots, and that's it that we conceded from. And especially the second one, it's just that shouldn't happen whatsoever. So you just, I just chalk that down to it's one of those.
Yeah,
Happens to the best. You've just seen Liverpool as well draw with Luton. I mean,
it is what it is because
who would
like
who would have expected that?
you could argue the Chelsea away game, the second half when they had two one-on-ones and they miss, and then the red card and we go off and score. Like, it's just, did we deserve to win that game? I don't know. So people could argue it's just swings and
Yeah,
roundabouts,
it
and it's
is
happened
swings.
today. I personally do not think we deserve to lose that game today.
No, we didn't.
I don't think we deserve to lose.
But then I can
I
see why
wouldn't
Forest
say we're
fans
going
would.
to win.
But then I can see why Forest fans would say they deserve to win. If I'm honest,
Yeah,
I
100%.
can see it
They
from their
defended.
point of view as well because the
Yeah,
way that was, I feel like that was their game plan and they worked
yeah,
it perfectly.
yeah.
So
I will
yeah,
give massive credit to Forest because those first two chances that they created came from good football, and you could tell it was worked on, especially them bypassing the defense and just going straight to Alanga. Like, that was because the way we defend, we're not getting the ball that way,
no,
and straight away 1-2, and they're in behind. So yeah, credit to Forest, man. I can see why their record at the City Ground is so good, and yeah, fair play to their fans, man.
yeah, I really did think. I thought Alaina was their man of the match. I thought he was outstanding today
Yeah, it was
on that
quality.
on their right on our left against our left hand side. I thought he played really well. So yeah, just chalk it down to one of those. We got Alkmaar in midweek and then Fulham at the weekend. Let's look to bounce back and get 2 wins out of those games, which I'm sure we can do, and I'm positive we will do as well. But yeah,
Just a comment on the league table. We're still end of day in fifth, 5 points off top. I think it's 2 points off Arsenal in fourth.
2 points off
Yeah,
Liverpool in third.
yeah, not the end of the world, man.
It's not the end of
Just
the world,
it just
and
hurts,
we've
doesn't
got
it? Because it's a
yeah,
chance.
it does, and you're always going to look at the optimism of we could have been third tonight. We could have been third tonight. I've had it a few times so far this evening, and I'm sure I'll have it again later. We could have been third going into next week, but you know, sometimes stuff like that happens. Liverpool are only 2 points ahead of us. Arsenal are only 2 points ahead of us, and we go into playing Fulham next week. So there's going to be many twists and turns this season. The only real team I see that have gained an advantage is Newcastle because everyone above them's dropped points.
Yeah,
But we
we
just
were
have to
impressive
concentrate
against
on
this.
ourselves. They were impressive. They were, but we have to just concentrate on ourselves and try and take maximum points and affect our own results. We can't be concentrating on other teams. We just have to go and get
Yeah,
our results. And I know Emery was really, really disappointed with the manner today. He stated how proud he was of the players and how far we've come over the past year in his interview. But he made a quite poignant point, which was basically it's a result we need to be winning to be getting top four, to achieve in top four.
mm,
He basically said that's a result we should be getting if our aim is to get into top four, and it is a chance we've missed. So he knows that. He knows that's a big opportunity missed, but he knows, as he always says, Villa can always improve, and he's always trying to get us to improve. So no doubt he'll be showing that tape tomorrow and just be saying, "Look, we can't be conceding early goals because it just kills the game plan and how we
He
want to
knows. He
play."
knows the style that he plays football and the way he sees the game. If you go a goal down, the whole game becomes tougher. If
Yeah,
you go a goal
it
down,
does.
sorry, the whole game
It
becomes
does.
tougher with the way he wants to play. So yeah, maybe in the future this season we'll see more variation of how we deal with that, how we combat that. Maybe if there is more of a change in style to adapt. But yeah, man, Fulham is not it's not the worst fixture in the Premier League to have at home coming into. So hopefully we can just put that right, man. Get back on the
Yeah, and
winning ways.
again, just one of those. We'll go into more detail later on in the week, but that's a game again. They had just another stinking last minute goal conceded against Manchester United. Team are just
Yeah,
fluking results at the minute.
Bruno
Absolutely
just
fluking results. But yeah, just another last minute winner. So they'll be aggrieved and they'll be wanting to, you know, change their fortunes against us next week. So we'll have to be fully switched on and hopefully we get the 3 points against Alkmaar. Everyone come through okay and they're all ready for Fulham and to get those 3 points and take us to 25 points
yeah. And
in
shout
the
out to
league.
Alex Moreno as well. Really happy to see him on the bench today. I know he had the hamstring surgery and the setback coming back. So hopefully he's just back now.
Yeah,
Hopefully he's back for the rest of the season because I
yeah.
really do think him and then Ramsey coming back takes us to a whole nother level.
Oh, for sure. And it's just unfortunate that both came back and then just had reoccurrences. I mean, how's your luck? Both came
So,
back. One gets a goal as well, and then they just have reoccurring injuries that puts them out for another few months. So fingers crossed, Moreno's ready to go now. He may get minutes midweek. I
yeah,
don't think he'll start, but he may get minutes midweek, and we'll see how he goes from there. Hopefully, JJ, I think he'll be more after the international break, won't it?
for the
When he
Spurs game, you were
returns,
saying.
yeah,
Maybe
for
for
the
the
Spurs
Spurs game.
games. So we just need to get through that Fulham game, get the 3 points there, and hopefully JJ will be back there as well. And also brilliant to see Buendia in training photos as well. It's going to
Yeah,
be a few months yet, but it's good to see him back. And hopefully Ty is doing okay and he's back soon as well training. So yeah,
it is what
there's
it
just
is,
not
man.
much more. Yeah, there's not much more we can say on that. Emery knows. I think the players deep down now will know as well. From some of the tweets and the messages, they know it wasn't good enough. Um, and Emery will be on their case to make sure that they know the mistakes that they made because it was just unforced errors. It was mistakes more than anything that have cost us today. But yeah, anything else, bro, you want to point out or bring up?
No, that's it really. What I will say is, after praising them last week, McPhee, I thought the corners today. I thought we had so many corners that first half. It felt like we had about like 6 corners in a row, and like each one just hitting the first man, and that was mad.
I
But
know.
yeah, hopefully
I
Fulham
remember
would see
there
it.
was one routine that led to McGinn crossing the ball with his right foot, and it actually was a decent ball. I thought that was
Yeah.
a bit mad. There was one,
Oh
but
yeah, it
then the
was
rest of
hilarious
them,
as well. Seeing Diaby at one point as our last man.
yeah.
Like I don't know how that happened. Like in the first half.
Diaby was
Like
playing left
what's
back off
going on
corners. It
here,
was
man?
mad. It was
It
mad.
was
He was a
mad.
centre back. It was about 3 times. I think one time Morgan Gibbs White nearly got away from him.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
about
I
three
was like,
times.
hold on, what's really going on here, man? Like when I seen Diaby at the back, but whatever, man.
Yeah,
It's just one of them days, bro.
yeah. They dealt with our corners really well. I think Niakate was getting his head to everything when the crosses were coming in. There's a stat. It was like 6-0 corners, and we hadn't done anything from any of them. So yeah, just one of those days, man. You just have to chalk it down to that, and we
But yeah,
hopefully we
that's it
just
really from.
improve that away form, bro. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for joining me, bro. To everyone watching again, thanks for watching. If you could like the show, it'd be much appreciated. Drop a comment in as well. We always respond to the
Yeah,
comments.
get the
We like
comments
to
in.
interact, man. Get the community going. And also, if you're new around here, if you could drop a subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Bro, thanks
And
for joining me.
if you enjoy the content as well, if you like listen to me and my brother just discuss below and stuff, just share it with as many people as possible. We'd love to have more people come in listening to the show and that. So yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciated. Anyway, bro, thanks for joining me, man. We'll do a preview for the Alkmaar game in midweek. Few days off, I think we'll be over the game by tomorrow, to be honest, and move on to the next one. Thanks for joining me, bro, anyway, and up the Villa.
Yeah, always a pleasure, man.